And well, let's get started.
Ghosts are real. That much I know.
Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is the first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification every single time that I post a video, and I post every single week. So you can see from the title, today's video is going to be my full review with spoilers of Huesera, the Boned Woman. This Mexican horror film is now available in movie theaters in the United States, and next week on February 16 is going to be available on video on demand. Now, as always, all my reviews are with spoilers. If you don't want them just to see if this was worth it or not, on the description box down below, there you're going to find my spoiler-free review, because I like to give you guys the two options. So giving all the disclaimer ahead, let's get into the video. Now, Huesera follows Valeria that has a long dream about becoming a mother. After learning that she is pregnant, she expects to feel happy, yet something is off. Now, to give a brief summary, the film opens with Valeria and her husband. They are trying to have a baby. Of course, we know that she is going to be in fact pregnant. This is something that happens very early on the film. And we are quickly introduced to her family and the family dynamic. And it's a very strange family, to be honest, because she is very happy. They're actually celebrating Mother's Day, and she's happy like that she's pregnant, and her family is kind of not. Like her sister, I hated her sister with passion. I hated this woman. She is like being very mean and saying like, but you never wanted to be a mother, and oh, what about the time that we were babysitting and the baby fell off your hands and kept falling down the stairs in front of her husband and everyone else on the table. And it's like, can you shut up? And her husband didn't knew about this, and he's laughing, but you can really see that she feels embarrassed by this. Her mother is also like question Valeria, like, can't you just be happy that your daughter wants to be a mother and is going to be a mom? Like, seriously, the mother and the sister, they were awful. The only one that is truly happy about her is her grandma. Like, that woman, bless her, because she was the only one that actually helped it. Because the moment that they leave the house, Valeria is looking up, and then she sees from the balcony someone looking at her, but faceless. Like, it doesn't have nothing like here, it's like blurry, and it's like, what the hell is this? But she quickly snaps back to kind of reality when Octavia, that was her childhood friend, she kind of appears next to the car and starts talking to her like, oh, I haven't seen you here in a while. And all this time is a very weird dynamic, and I was like, why? What the hell? But of course, we're going to have the full explanation later on the film. So from the moment that Valeria gets pregnant, she's going to have weird experiences. She's going to sense that something is on the house, and we actually see shadows and like silhouettes and even spiders. The film has a lot of symbolism and allegories, and they are mostly spiders. At first, it's kind of random, but quickly you're going to realize that it's not just a coincidence that we have the presence of spiders on the story. Now, it gets to the point that her whole family is basically against her. She was trying to prove that she was going to be a good mother, and she told her sister, like, I can take care of your kids if you're going to that party that you want to go, and you're complaining about it that you can't. So she is babysitting these devils that are called kids, because let me tell you, if I hated the sister, I hated those kids even more. I truly did. Now, she once again sees someone in the house, but this time it's not her house, like it's her parents' house. And she's still seeing someone, and she freaks out. She even drags the kids towards the stairs, and she harms the girl's arm, like she's left with bruises. And she even calls the police. No one is there. Like, of course, everyone thinks that she's crazy, and her sister starts like complaining to her. And it's like, shut up. I am so glad that after this scene, we never see her again. And I was so glad, because honestly, she was annoying as hell. But like I said at the beginning, the only person that is truly believing Valeria is her grandma, because her husband believes that she's crazy. Even at some point, they are having dinner with the parents of the husband, and the crib of the baby gets on fire. He believes that Valeria did it, but of course, it wasn't precisely her. And it's like everything is wrong here, and no one believes her. except from her grandma and her friends. Now they do egg cleansing. That, in case that you don't know what this is or you have never seen it, basically there is this superstition and this belief that if someone gave you the bad eye or te dio mal de ojo, you can take that away and even like reverse to the person by taking an egg and like passing it all the way from your forehead to your feet, like chanting, like depending on the intention of what you want to like take out precisely. And then you're going to break the egg in water and salt. And this is supposed to also like make a form with the yolk, and that is supposed to tell you if you have something bad, like sort of stuff, like it can change. For Valeria, it was a spider web. So this is when everything clicks. It's like, oh, definitely the spiders, they have a meaning. So what is explaining to her is that spiders can be a symbol for life. They are protectors, but they are also predators, and they can be evil. So we have this balance. And I actually make a little research after I end up watching the film, and it's real. Like, spiders can be a symbol of new life, of protection, because they're mothers, but also they are predators. Some of them that even eat their husbands. They can be evil. Of course, the meaning of the spider is going to have a different meaning depending on the context of the situation. So the grandma, of course, with her friends, are trying to take away whatever is basically behind Valeria, because at this point we don't know what the hell it is. While the film focuses on Valeria's problems with this ghost evil presence, it also focuses on Valeria's internal battle with her true self. Because do you remember that I told you that everyone was questioning her about being a mother? We have a flashback, and this is when we know how Valeria was in the past. She didn't have any hair, she was blonde, and she was in a lesbian relationship with Octavia. But of course, it was a secret. She used to smoke, she had friends that, at the eyes of everyone, they aren't good. But she actually looked happy with Octavia. Like, she definitely sees happy and like comfortable. But Valeria, of course, is having some struggles because she wants to go to college. And while we don't have the full details of what happened, it's very easy to understand that basically Valeria decided that she wanted to go by the right path. That was going in a relationship with a man, hiding the fact that she was a lesbian, that she was with Octavia, becoming a mother, going to college, all that. Of course, since her sister and her mother and even her husband kind of knows that she has something to do with Octavia, no one is actually believing this. Like, they all believe that it's kind of an act. And you can really see that she's trying very hard to convince even herself and everybody that she's happy, that this is the life that she wants. But of course, she eventually returns to Octavia. They spend the night together, and you can really see that the spark is still there. Of course, Octavia feels that she's just playing with her because at the end she's returning to her husband. But her husband is not dumb, so he knows what happened. So this leaves basically Valeria hanging without nothing but her grandma. You could be thinking, is Valeria pregnant still? No, she actually gives birth. Because this is the thing, I actually thought that the film was going to be throughout her pregnancy and it was going to end with her like giving birth and that's it, because this is how we usually ends. But no, she gives birth. And everything is kind of normal, but no. Because of course, weird things are still happening. So her grandma, her friends, and Valeria, they decide that they're going to do a ritual in order to finally take out everything that is harming Valeria and the baby. Because of course, this is not going anywhere, so they need to do something. This is at the end of the film. It's a very unsettling, creepy but mesmerizing scene. It's creepy as hell, but it's so well made. The music that they played like on the background fits perfectly. So I really think that they did a very good job here, and of course the ritual works, but it also serves as the reveal for Valeria that she needs to go and do what she wants to do, that is living with Octavia. and she doesn't want to be a mother. So the film ends with her leaving the house, leaving her husband and the baby, and going with Octavia. And that's how the film ends. Going very straight into the things that I like at first, the film is in Spanish. And I really like it how natural it felt. Now, I need to give a little bit of context here. It's very usual for productions that are made in Spanish that aren't from Spain, because the accent from people from Spain is very particular. But also Mexican, Puerto Rican, every single country that speaks Spanish is going to speak it very differently. But of course, as a Spanish speaker, I can recognize, and I can also recognize when it's not natural, because it's very common to see productions that are made in Spanish. They try to neutralize the accent, and it feels so fake, and for us, it's very cringy. It's awful. Honestly, it's awful because it's like, we don't talk like that. This is something that many Puerto Rican films are guilty of. They try to take away the accent and the way that we actually speak in Spanish. And it's like, we don't speak like that. And Mexicans also happen. So, of course, seeing a film that embraces the accent completely, all the words, everything, it felt so natural and enjoyable, that props for that. Honestly, that's of course more a me experience because I am a Spanish speaker, but it made the experience 10 times even better. Now into the story. Like I said, the film relies a lot in symbolism and allegories and also Mexican folklore, something that for me it was very easy to recognize since I live in Puerto Rico. I live in the Caribbean. I am Latin. It's very easy for us to know and recognize things about other Latin cultures. And of course, Mexico is one of them. So it was very easy for me to recognize the whole thing of the egg cleansing. At the beginning, they're praying with a Virgencita, the prayers, all the superstitions, everything. Like, it's very easy, but if you're someone that is not familiar with it, maybe you're going to get a little bit confused, or maybe you're going to get some interest in this. It's a very interesting topic, like Mexican culture and folklore. It's full of so many stories and creepy stories. Like, those guys have La Llorona. Like, La Llorona is an icon for horror stories for kids. Don't watch The Curse of La Llorona. Like, that movie is awful. Like, go and research the real La Llorona. It's brutal. Awesome. So I really like the fact that this film also embraces that part of the Mexican culture. I mean, this film is so well made that I was like, I want to watch this 10 more times. Like, I am dying to rewatch this film once it comes out next week on video on demand. Since this one is not coming to theaters in Puerto Rico, I'm going to have to wait until next week, but I want to rewatch it. Another thing that I love it about the film, it's Valeria, portrayed by Natalia Solian, and honestly, I would love to see this girl in more horror films. Like, she is amazing. Like, for me, she carries the film because she's able to show how she's really having this internal battle, her fear, everything. Like, for me, it was very easy to connect with her because something that I also love about the film is how genuine it feels. Because her family situation, for example, the unnecessary comments, being mean, criticism, judgment, the fact that no one believes you and they think that you're crazy, the judgment because you want to have a different life from what your culture and the society is telling you. This is very common. So for me, it was very easy to connect with her because although I do not have the same experiences of her, I can understand because I know people that they had like similar, not on the supernatural, but like having families that they are like that they will judge you just because you want to have like a different lifestyle, and they ended up trying to be who they're not just to fit in. Like, that's very common. So I really think that the film did an amazing job with bringing, once again, the Mexican culture, the allegories, the symbolism, The story itself, I think that although can be generic, because we have seen this so many times, definitely the director, she brought a whole new perspective, and I really like it, the fact that she brought it even further. Like, she didn't end the film when she gave birth. We keep seeing what happened after, because sometimes we believe that, oh, it's going to end after giving birth. That didn't end here, and I love that we see a little bit more. The only thing is that I left me some questions, but I feel like I need to watch it in order to get like the full answers, because like I said, this film, it's full symbolisms and all that. So that will be the only thing, but being honest, this was a very good film. I think that this is a great start for the director, Michelle, and for Natalia as Valeria. Like, I think that it was amazing. So for me, this film is a 4 out of 5. I am not giving it 5 because, like I said, it left me with some questions. And for a brief moment, I feel that it was dragging a little bit much, like running on the same thing. Like, I don't know, like was something a little bit off by just some moments. But still, I believe that it's a very good film, very well made. The soundtrack, it's amazing. So if you have the chance to watch this, go and do it, because honestly, it's very, very good. Now, like I said, this is a 4 out of 5 and a 9 out of 10. Honestly, it's a 9 out of 10. This is not an 8, this is 9. Well, I think this is all for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below if you watched it, what do you thought, or if you're going to watch it. And well, thank you so much, and I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Bye.
Ghosts are real. That much I know.